Timestamps are in the video timeline for anyone that's just interested in the games. Click down below to skip ahead. Now this video is for everyone who's just real busy. You love League, but you're a hardworking student, athlete, professional, or blue-collar worker. So as much as you'd love to be watching all of Worlds, it's just not possible. That's where this video comes in. Put in your headphones, find somewhere quiet in your break room away from your annoying manager, and relax as I get you up to speed. Starting in the second round of the Swiss stage, I'm recapping all the games up until today so you can keep up to date. I'll introduce the teams, their seed, and then show a definitive point where the game turned following by the fight that led a team to victory, and maybe anything else interesting between the games that I feel you might like. It goes without saying this video contains spoilers for the whole of the second and third Swiss stage, but if you're not caught up to where I'm covering in this video, you can check out the video before this because it contains all the games that led up to here. Now, just before we dive into FlyQ versus VKS, a quick word from our partner for this video so you can watch the whole thing uninterrupted. All right, quick break before we get started. We're in the midst of Worlds, and if you're anything like me, you're doing your best to catch every match. But because of time zones, it can be tricky. So let me put you on something that'll keep you up to date and Leagueify your browser, OperaGX, who I'm sure you've heard of if you're not using it already. OperaGX is the official browser of League of Legends esports, teaming up with Riot to basically bring the Rift straight into your browser, as if you weren't addicted enough already. You've got the new Riot Corner, which shows you every upcoming match, full schedules and co-streams all synced to your time zone so you know exactly when they're on. So even if you're like your jungler and you can't tell time, OperaGX has you covered. You can follow Worlds, LCS, LEC, all of it, right from inside the browser. And plus, you can customize it with official League mods. I'm using the Renekton one since he's my second most played, but there's Cassante, Renata, Lee Sin, and more in the GX store. Now, switching browsers is usually a pain in the ass. That's why it took me so long to go to Opera, but OperaGX has a quick import tool that brings over all your bookmarks, cookies, and settings in seconds. Take it from me, it's super easy. And during the Worlds Finals on November 9th, OperaGX is running an exclusive loot drop quest. Watch on lolesports.com with OperaGX browser open, and when a pop-up appears, click on it. You should be all good with that with all the minions you click on every day. Clicking on this pop-up will instantly claim you a Hextech chest and key that's tied to the event that contains exclusive loot. On top of that, OperaGX helps you stop the lag and nerf the ads. It's got a built-in ad blocker and a free VPN. And right now you can get 2 months of VPN Pro completely free using the code EarnYourLegacy. So yeah, if you're watching Worlds, OperaGX just makes sense. You basically get something for nothing and a superior browser in the process. Download OperaGX free using my link in the description or pinned comment, and a huge thanks to OperaGX for their partnership in this video. The first game we'll be covering sees LTA 1 versus LTA 2, FlyQ taking on VKS. This best of 1 is in round 2 of losers following FlyQ falling to T1 and VKS suffering defeat at the hands of Team Secret Wales. Now let's begin with this hilarious sequence. A rogue minion reveals the VKS players, which ultimately delays their bases, giving Fly the window they need.
Of the game as another double pulverize comes through here from Busio, looking to try and get that stun onto Trimby. That's going to land, but Moteus doing a whole lot of work here to get damage back onto the level 5 Alistair. The flash forward from Trimby, I don't know about that one, with Moteus gets the ulti just for the shield Cataclysm, and they are both so close to dead, just stuck in the pen, but it's not. They can't get the extra bit of damage.
Oh, the headbutt from Busio was so clutch in keeping them safe. Even then, I thought that maybe someone could step up and get an auto attack, but now inspired.
Oh no.
Eyes on Kai'Sa.
He's going to give them the Teemo thumbs up as Moteus is in so much trouble, and yeah, he is just going to be dead.
After a pretty steady increase in the gold gap, VKS are looking to surmount a 4k gold deficit, and seemingly identifying a pick, Decimus engages the fight onto Masu. But is this too deep?
I appreciate you. Yes, man, or no. It means a lot. As Circle comes on down, Masu is going to be put into the Cataclysm, but unfortunately, Decimus is a little bit alone, and Masu just gets a couple of autos to take him out. Flash wasn't up, but it wasn't required either, as that's a decent little knockup from Boal, but still FlyQ are as a unit looking for the angles, and it's just a Sion by himself. That is not going to be able to find it. And the flash in from Bwimpo to take down Moteus. He does ult. They do manage to get the kill on the Mordekaiser, but unfortunately it's still not looking fantastic, as Zombie Sion not going to be able to get too much more done as Inspired sneaks on in and takes down the Kai'Sa. Decent little knock up there from Trimby, but the Cyclone is going to answer, and the Cyclone is not looking good here for VKS, as it's an ace picked up by Quad.
VKS attempt to hold on for the rest of the game, but FlyQ keep growing their lead steadily through calculated map play and eventually take a Baron. After which, they rotate to take Dragon Soul and look to siege bot lane, but with an almost 15,000 gold lead, one misstep from VKS could cost them a Nexus.
Going to land. Flag and drag to get Tasamas back towards this fountain, fill up that health bar once again. They might have one more fight in them. You can see Boal ready to leave the station, and he will do it now. Shockwave going to connect onto only one as Boostio gets into the backline, finds the triple knockup. This guy's Alistair has been absolutely unreal as a double to start the fight for Inspired. Quad's legendary absolutely in this game. And Inspired is between two Nexus turrets, picking up a triple kill. Whilst Zombie Form is going to go down and FlyQ are going to dispatch VKS in pretty comfortable fashion.
Next up, we have a winners matchup between LCK3 KT Rolster and LCP2 Team Secret Wales. This one was a close one. Following pretty much only 300 gold separating the two teams the entire game, it's seemingly an extremely even matchup until this Herald fight at the 17th minute. As Histo cataclysms Cuz to deny him access to the pit, Cuz subjugates him in retaliation, which allows KT to shred the J4 inside his own ult. And after that, the cracks begin to show.
Cuz moving over as well as, oh my goodness, BDD, so much damage onto Hero. He is out of there. Do not expect a Rumble to do anything. True Shot Barrage, though, doing a whole lot of work because this time he's got the ulti and this time he's going to survive. The Ram comes on down now as well, but Perfect not going to be able to send it back. Still, they won't need to as Dyer gets destroyed. Cuz picks up the eye and KT just start running away with it.
Following the last fight, KT gained a roughly 2,000 gold lead, which again, demonstrating the evenness in this game, lasted a whole 8 minutes until a decisive dragon fight allowed the victor to also take Baron right off the spawn.
Just not going to be touched as somehow it's Peter that locks down the dragon and finds the Rumble as well. Ace in the Hole comes on through as Hero, going to be the next one to die. Oh god, Eddie's in the scrap. He does Arcane Shift away, but it's just still going to be him. 10k gold lead. And I'm glad I said that thing about 17,000 gold being required.
And 3 minutes later, with the gold lead finally at a definitive 10,000 to the Koreans, the base of the Viets falls under siege.
On the world stage. That's exactly what we're seeing. Shockwave going to collect Eddie, and he's taken down by Doctom after he tries to Arcane Shift away. That is going to spell the end of this inner turret. 5 have been ripped to shreds here by KT, and they are not stopping anytime soon. This is exactly what Doctom wants to do on this Caitlyn. Keep sieging, and they'll take down their first inhibitor of the game here at 27 minutes.
It's still 30 seconds until Eddie's up. This is going to be the entire base, it feels like, decimated. How much further do KT want to push?
I think maybe to the Nexus. And I don't think they need to go any further than that as Cataclysm going to come on through. There's the Equalizer to layer on top, and the Cosmic Binding is fantastic. Peter going to be going down here, but as you can see, KT, they just want to win the game. The Ram going to come on by, but it doesn't go back. Heroic Entrance comes on through, but the Bellows Breath eats the CC, and Dyer not going to be able to take down the On. We've got another Nexus turret being taken here as Hero lying on the floor, and my god, Doctom is just destroying them now on this Caitlyn. Perfect is flashing in, and the Nexus is going to be next on the menu unless the Caitlyn is just going to die. Meanwhile, Cuz and BDD, they're going to be able to finish the job.
Now let's see how the Europeans fare against one another in losers as LEC 1G2 take on LEC 2 Movistar Koi. And spoiler alert, it's another very close one. After 23 minutes of play, G2 leads by just 988 gold. That's just over 2 Doran's Blades for those who are playing at home. G2 with 2 dragons already under their belt look to pressure Soul Point as number 3 spawns and MK is forced to retaliate.
MKOI looks scared. They don't want to take the fight, and it means they're just getting the poke from G2.
Yeah, Moen in so much trouble gets the 3rd Q. Just a disaster.
MKOI just didn't want to take the fight, and it gave Cap so much time to get the poke they wanted. So Yoya now.
They get the Cyclone out as well as Broken Blade just goes in. All Out comes on forward. Alvaro now with the Unbreakable Will, but it's looking a bit more breakable than you'd otherwise expect based on the name, as Hansama might be able to get a big chunk onto this inner turret as well. Zaprov is going to have to ult himself, but that buys time for Hansama to dash on over. Was it all a bait? The answer is maybe.
Following that lost fight, G2 are able to tighten their grip on the map, which leads to a Baron and MKOI's base.
Here as he pushes him towards the blast plant, and I don't... Moen, what are we... Moen, are we okay? Okay, well, the Baron is going to do most of the work. killing Moen there as he was looking for a flank angle, but unfortunately MKOI, they had different ideas, and now the Baron is going to get started. Caps walks straight into a large line of rocks though, and the ace in the hole comes on in. Jojo finds the threaded volley, and down goes Caps. MKOI not out of this one yet as Super is now walking towards BB. He gets knocked up by the Cyclone. Another shove there from Jojo as the magical journey gets him to relative safety. Skumon goes in just to be the hero, and he fights it! Hansama takes down Jojo, and I don't know how it worked, but absolutely it worked here for G2. Skumon continuing his onslaught, and Hansama is just clicking on these heads. It's a triple!
Well, he has a gun in one hand and a... I don't know what that other thing is.
Oh dear. Well, Moen is dead. Caps is going to chain him up, and Broken Blade going to help set him down there as Weaver's Wall comes on in. They want to try and block them off here, and Broken Blade might be the target, but the Tempered Fate is going to lock down the turret and 2 members of MKOI. So the wall does absolutely nothing. Leprov is just making them look silly right now as the third Q connects, and the cow is just going to be stake here for G2's enjoyment. Hansama is unstoppable now as they will take down yet another inhibitor. And it's feeling pretty similar to a lot of the other matchups between these two squads in the LEC as G2 are looking to play with their food a little bit here. Cyclone doing a fair bit of work, but Elyoya is on his fountain with not much more hope other than to try and stay alive and watch his Nexus fall as G2 are on the board here at Worlds.
Moving on, Top Esports take on 100 Thieves in winners. Oh yeah, 100 Thieves beat China 1 BLG. Yeah, true. Let's see if they can replicate it versus LPL number 3. After almost 14 minutes of play, 100 Thieves have held strong, with Top Esports only leading by 1,500 gold. But a fight off the back of a pick onto Dokla will test the North American resolve.
Looks like. Yeah, possible angle to try and set up for JackeyLove to get that damage down, and the Solar Flare is going to connect, and Dokla, nothing he can do. JackeyLove just clicks on him over and over again. Cease and desist comes forward as FBI looks for Kanavi. They find the Vault Breaker, and Cream is just free hitting. Kanavi does go down, but there's the Arc of Judgment. And JackeyLove is going to be able to lock down another one for himself. Ayla is so close to dead as the flash forward from Cream, and it's a triple kill for the Rise.
Following a steady start and only a loss to a random jungle fight, the Chinese take a stranglehold on the game, leading to an over 11,000 gold lead at 25 minutes. The last chance for the Thieves is this next Baron, but can they successfully pull off the heist?
It's absolutely disgusting as Hex Flash going to get channeled there by Hung. That was an interesting one, just buys enough time to get them the Baron. Supreme display of talent comes in. I don't know what happened to River there, but he is well and truly dead. It's a double for Cream. The flash forward from JackeyLove. They avoid the seismic shove, and Quid going to get knocked up here by 369. Down he will go as well. For this team, looking absolutely brilliant, at least for now, here at Worlds, as Dokla not quite enough as he dashes about but isn't able to get any of the kills. As the double kill comes through from 369, gets his revenge.
No, they cannot. Anywho's, moving on. The Red Hot Flying Oysters LCP number 1 take on LCK number 4, the omnipotent T1, who admittedly have had a shaky form at best this tournament. Can they shake off the nerves in winners versus the rapidly climbing Taiwanese power rankings team? Now, I don't know as much about League as Doran, probably not even half as much, but I can't help but feel that giving a solo kill to the enemy Draven for one range minion is not the best way to start a Worlds game.
High-level junglers right now is it's GenG.
Hello, Doggo! He just solo killed Doran. Hot damn, what the hell just happened, Top?
My goodness, let's look back at this. So he's about 50% HP right now. Doggo smartly, as Doran comes in to last hit these minions, lands those auto attacks while dodging away from the tower shots. Another auto attack comes through. I mean, at this point, you'd think Doran is just going to go back to base. Oh, the tunnel gets interrupted.
Stand aside.
Beautifully played by Doggo.
But with the game pretty even, Doran looks to do some more things. I don't even really know why he tunneled forward here, but apparently it's signaled for the Avengers.
He's just an instant blocker, and T1 walk away with a win on objective.
The Rise ulti.
We are going in. Driver's going to stand there. Decimating smash. Baker's down. GenG also going to help out as Doggo ran into melee and started hitting the Void Queen. Double over to GenG, and what a realm warp that was.
Despite the rough start, the team matchmaking is kind of tight, and there's again only a 1,000 gold differential at 20 minutes. But as is a very common characteristic of this tournament, Atakan looks to shake things up.
Petrifying gaze from over the wall with the Cassiopeia without flash. You mentioned that TP, that's going to bring numbers in. 4 members of T1 on look now. Kaiwing gets over the wall, flash from Honkyu, gets the double root, and there's Kaiwing for the follow-up engage. The cow unleashed, Pop Blossom does nothing. Driver misses, but Faker is there when he lands. Down goes the Snake, or just about. They finish the kill. It's Doggo who gets more money in the bag. Doran now isolated, has to go back in, but the supreme display of unholy talent, Junja on Kiana, is just exceptional.
And in repeatable fashion, the Flying Oysters take their lead and run with it, facing down Baron at the 30th minute with T1 hot on their heels. The victor of this fight, the victor of this game.
He's got the ulti available. Guma tries to walk in. CFO, a backing off is still so sketchy. The game's not over until Junja runs in the river and says, "Bet." He runs back, sets that up, but it's a double. Doggo is just nuts as well. The CFO have now got 2 in the dirt.
They're just going to start this Baron off. It's still a super risky thing to do. Doran is max HP. Faker is coming back from the river. Guma with his range. Keep your eyes on Kaiwing, looking for the flank.
Driver is low as well, but he's got a shield. Doran once again on in. Guma with the range to steal his potential, but no. Smite is better. A realm orb into Guma's face, but he's spaced him, he's ranged him, and Faker stares him in the face. However, the pop back is massive. CFO are doing it, and even with the ulti avoided by Doran, he's down 2, and in the LCP, we believe.
And this team, it feels like that they can only go up with the Baron now secured. The Nexus is in their eyes as they look to try and break the base.
Look at Doggo, he just got Doran now, he's taking a 1v2. You know where this game's at. Ow! This dog, man! It's 6-0, Betty. What a game. Again, it's only one game, but it feels so good. Junja's going to be caught out, though, as he runs for his life. Gets away with the help of a heal. And CFO supporting staff are coming in. Carrier, though, a clutch defense. Petrifying gaze, though, won't be enough. As Driver's always where you need him as well. Against T1, CFO get a bit of revenge. And the first team going 2-0, Betty. At least in my eyes, CFO smacking down the LCK's 4th seeders. Baker runs back to the base, but this game's done. I see one delicious looking oyster.
Next up, world's favourites LCK1 GenG, led by the incredibly informed Chovy, take on LPL2 Anyone's Legend, who seem to be playing very solidly. But how do they fare against the best? By the 18th minute, the goal difference is only 1,000. But with AL stacking dragons, GenG can't sit idly by, and the first real contest of the game begins.
Start off with the threaded volleys as well. Flandre and Tarzan from one angle.
Collapse is looking good. The root from Tarzan doesn't connect, they turn onto Flandre.
The engage is not bad, but Flandre is a tank. He'll take a while to die. The Weaver's Wall spreads thin, but it might actually help GenG on the Dragon, trying to burst it down as Ruler who gets into the pit. The poke out, and meanwhile, KL with the disengage. Dragon's exposed and stolen. Keen gets sent away by KL, and the fight will ensue. Jumping forward is Canyon, with now the ulti popped as well. Keen jumping forward, getting the flip onto Shanks. 2 down, 3 to go as GenG look for the chase. They'll find Hope up next as Flandre sacrifices his life to save the rest, but Hope still might not be able to the woods as Ruler follows up with a killer instinct, locks in the triple, and GenG lock in.
After this, GenG increased their lead steadily to this point, where they contest AL's Dragon Soul with a 4,000 gold lead. But if there's something that's consistent with the East, it's that they all know how to teamfight. Except for Ruler in this one, apparently.
Left side. GenG with a nice setup. AL, how do they approach this?
They're asking the same question. Dragon going to be started again. GenG using Ruler, but he doesn't commit for the time being. Juro's taking a little bit of poke, but that's all it is. A little bit here from Anyone's Legends. As Chovy hovers around the outside, there's the Weaver's Wall to separate. Looking for the pick. Keen separates 2, but the Poppy will only find 1. It's onto Chovy for now, running in towards the Dragon, but it's at 4K. It ain't stealable as Keen pops the ulti. The all out there. He is getting poked down, and Shanks is sending away 2. The Supreme Display will find the mark on the side, and Ruler jumped in to a Poppy with a steadfast presence. Dragon stolen, and the fight for AL taken away. KL, this pick pays dividends.
With that fight win, AL flip the script and take a 5k gold lead of their own in preparation for their Elder Dragon. But as we all know from our solo queue games, gold doesn't really matter if you kill this thing, and the Slayer looks to become the victor.
Shanks keeps sending out the poke, plenty of mana to continue on. And as you said, Hope is going to do this quick.
Canyon on his way over. The ulti, beautiful from Shanks.
And the
How does
timing.
GenG get in?
The timing's great. Maybe with a realm warp to one side of Chovy by himself. Keen jumping in first hand. KO guards the entrance, and Elder's taken. Anyone's legend. Turn for the fight. There's GenG got to run. They might take Flandre, but with Elder, it's a buff to beat the rest. 1 for 1. Keen getting poked. The flash. Kyle gets close. Keen's one step away from dying, but first Canyon will go in the coffin net. Duro, as he runs away, he's getting chased up by a Gatling gun and a pair of pebbles. He'll flash out, but now with the 3-free display missing out, you say, hey, doesn't matter.
Gonna take down the best team in the world.
It looks like Kyle has committed parricide as Duro is just another target. Brawler was fed the hope of GenG, but even he is not enough. In China, AL will soar.
Now, while GenG might be favourites for this tournament, and some would argue they kinda had that one till one botched dragon fight, it's more evident now than ever that this Worlds Cup isn't going over freely, and they've definitely got their work cut out for them. Now, for the second last losers game, LPL1 BLG take on LEC3 Fnatic, and with pretty lackluster performances from both teams so far, they've got a lot to prove in this next best of one. At the 15th minute, the Chinese lead by 2,200 gold, giving them a bit to work with ahead of this Herald fight, but a very clean engage by Razork gives BLG something to fight for.
And if Herald starting, that is going to escalate this gold further.
Yeah, the problem is I think Fnatic just isn't strong enough to fight. Good damage onto Elk.
It is good engage as well. You asked about Razork. Elk not going to stand still for long though, because Dark Binding was out of range. The trap as well. Elk flashes in for the root, and it sets up Shadow for the reset. Now onto another. Upset thinks he's safe. Not for long. Under a turret, even with the Dark Binding. Spin has joined in, and Mickey's up next. BLG recovering from their sins of day one.
After 11 minutes or so, BLG take control of the map, but an insane ult from Oscar's Poppy make the BLG siege a lot more awkward than it needed to be. Good luck, Gigabin.
But he is going to TP.
Here we go.
The last hurrah between worlds from Poby keeps him near, but BLG at full HP still as Poby stepped up and now about to get wept away. Elk is low, but the feathers are still out, even with a great Poppy ult. Bin comes from mid to send another message. The cease and desist, the Dark Binding. Can they kill this Renekton? Well, with Hysterics Gauge, they're going to bloody well try, but he'll take Razork down with him. That's the Gigabin we know. The Shadow uses this opportunity to enter the base, look for a reset, deliver the shockwave, and deliver LPL its hopes this day. Thaddeus, BLG day one, that was just a spanner in the works. This is what you can expect from one of the best regions in the world.
And for the last game of losers, Hanwha Life LCK2 take on LCP3 PSG Talon. Next up is round 3, so let's see who enters on the back foot for the elimination round and who enters with confidence. At the 22nd minute, a measly 1,600 gold separate the two, but I swear Riot must be rubbing their money bags together with how much exciting teamfights this Atakan has caused.
Find out.
I mean, Aja has TP. He should be able to... No, it's gone, right?
Raj, Weaver's Wall at 3k. Tempered Fate, nice from Delight. Keeps him from getting near. Castle walks up, almost steals it, but he does not. That's what matters. Peanut launches an engage again and sacrifices his life, but in goes Zeka, all in as Casa's up next. Woody run over by the Ambessa, and Hummerlife see the angle. Maple just stands there, finds a kill. It ain't pretty. It ain't that great, but a Quadra over to Zeka. It's got enough for Hummerlife.
With Baron the point of contention, PSG trail 6,000 gold, but with the engage power of HLE's comp, they can't really even be on the same screen as the Koreans.
2 items, okay, like, we'll just engage on you whenever we want.
Archer's in trouble, Archer is in trouble, that blast cone, use it now. Okay, use the Mario Mushroom,
the,
but...
top jungle
duo.
duo.
No, Peanut is the Goomba waiting in front.
Considering a play on the Viper, but he's not going to find him. Instead, Viper's already set his sights on the Baron. That Baron is getting lower, not the fastest. Zeka trying to zone them away.
It's fast enough, isn't it? Weaver's Wall comes out, Maple separates. It's nice, but he's in quite deep. Even though Delight's buying time, here comes Peanut again. It's Betty every time who doesn't get to play the game. Hummerlife woke up at Worlds. This is the form we expected as they now look to run it down mid. To give fresh life into the LCK's second seed. Hummerlife, this comp we can get around seeing Peanut on by seeing Zayas int once more. It doesn't matter because Hummerlife get their first win at Worlds 2025.
So just for a quick recap so far, let's check the table to help give you guys a visual on how each team is performing. Entering round 3, we're starting with Flying Oyster and AL and KT Rolster and Top Esports, both at a clean 2 from 2. Then, FlyQuest and TSW, GenG in T1, G2 and BLG, and HLE and 100 Thieves round out the 1 win 1 loss bracket, with Movistar, KOI and Fnatic and VKS and PSG Talon facing elimination in double losers. Time to take a breath. I also feel this is an appropriate time to say that if you're enjoying this video and appreciate being kept up to date, a sub would mean a ton. And this is the best way to let me help you do that, because we still have a lot of worlds to go. Let's kick off round 3 with the best in Taiwan, the Oysters, versus the second best in China, Anyone's Legends. Now, kicking us off in the 1 win 1 loss bracket is G2 versus the so far underwhelming BLG. Let's see if they can find stride. Because frankly, they're running out of chances. But how can you lock in when this is what you see the opposing team doing? At the 13th minute, there was a 0 gold gap, and it didn't even cross the 1,000 mark until the 24th minute, where a hungry G2 have the spawning Baron Nashor in their sights.
Buffs are arriving to the Rift very quickly here. Red buff is already taken. Baron arriving in 30 seconds.
Elk getting ulti. No, rather it's onto Knight. Again, the wall's up and available. Bit of Frostbite added. Flash Frost onto Elk. He cleanses. Meanwhile, the bottom side of the fight is Shadow and the rest. And On's not going to get out of that one. Realm want to save Knight's life. Elk Arcane shifts away as well. And Shadow's getting poked out between Hans, between Caps. So many projectiles. And there'll be a few more chasing Knight down. Concussive blows so close to ticking. But a Mega Blast Cone gets Knight out of the way. But Elk is far up in the lane. Another target now found. An Arcane shift. And maybe a flash coming through. But from an angle, Broken Blaze shows up and sends BLG into the dirt. G2, it's Baron o'clock.
Now in this play, Caps tries to make a little sneaky escape, but is denied.
Otacon started up. So, G2 with really good positioning here. And the Otacon's getting burned down, but Caps gets engaged on.
He's got an egg, so he wants to bait it in, but as he flashes in, he gets into the Herald. The escape mitigated, though, with the Herald dropping down. Caps goes into the egg, but it's all for the Otacon. It's all here in front of G2's eyes. Caps will be the sacrificial lamb, and with a Realm Warp coming in, G2 are already away. Elk can't catch up, nor can Knight.
Up against Chemtech Soul and Baron Buff, BLG corral to defend against Europe's best. But despite being able to maintain pretty much no gold gap, the buffs may be all G2 needs.
Have been really rough for BLG, and so G2, I think if they just remain calm, okay.
Solar Flare, that's not calm, it's Zenith's Blade, good disengage, Shane's Corruption hits the back line though, and On, close to dying, will die first. The supreme display of talent ain't that good, and Ben as well in the front line's getting shredded. G2 believe, and so do Europe, they're seeing the end, they're seeing the wall, the combination's there, a triple about to turn deadlier into a quadra for Skumon, who has been riding EU high this whole damn year.
Now following that game, Broken Blade was asked about the inspiration for the Anivia pick, where he revealed the secret tech, which is TikTok.
Tell me a little bit about Anivia, this pick into this matchup, especially for Caps against BLG. Why was that?
I mean, we had Poppy locked in already, and then we said, oh, let's do the TikTok combo, Poppy and Anivia. I stun him into the wall.
BLG failing to find their footing, let's see if the shaky T1 are able to find theirs. Except it's against GenG, so it may be tricky. In what's been pretty consistent in this next stage, there hasn't really been a gold gap all game, but even so, GenG have been able to secure Herald, a Dragon, and Grubs. But with a third Dragon spawning, they're hungry for more.
Towards mid.
All right, flank around the side from Dorian. Oh, Guma!
Carry a 3-man pulverize almost. Ruler disappears as well, but Faker, as he jumps into the whole team, makes a crucial mistake. Dorian now comes in, gets a flash out of Ruler, reposition from Gumayushi, a 5-man Cyclone. Ona finds the angle, but it's too late in the fight. GenG have annihilated T1 as Guma runs for his life, but he's tagged once again. GenG have 4 members on the run, and Guma is left alone. This turret won't withstand, and it won't get a kill in return, maybe, as Chovy, no! Command protect!
After some very calculated map play, taking their leads and objectives one at a time, we find GenG with 3 dragons and a Baron sieging their rivals topside. But how do you defend against the world's best in a 12.5k deficit?
Following mid, here comes Ona. Again, the Ambassador followed up as well. A chance there, but the Shockwave nullifies everything. Rawler willing to Valkyrie forward. He knows this one's in the bin. GenG, the LCK's best, and they just showed it again to T1.
Up next, the Whales take on the Leaves. What even are FlyQuest? If we've learned anything from Pokemon, it's that grass beats water. I don't know where I'm going with this. After a pretty stagnant first 20 minutes with TSW having the objective advantage but Fly having the gold advantage, a hungry Bwipo looks to engage mid lane.
Still in this brush, they haven't started yet. Trying to bait them in and the lure eventually works. Tucky's the one to take it up as Bwipo goes forward as well. Again, good poke damages, ult melee range. Hero has to ult in response and it's Judgment Day for someone if he can get them in a 1v1, but it's only Bwipo. Meanwhile, Dyer flashes forward, sets himself up. It's a good ulti, but he now jumps into the hole of FlyQuest. Quad with his dying breath, gets an ulti up, flash away from any from Bwipo, but the back to front is in full effect, and FlyQuest are getting the fight they want. Baiting them in was the right call, because the Whales always come.
It's just really hard to approach Baron when you're on the losing end. In a very split team fight, like it's hard to keep up with everything that's going on. A dominant Sion pick creates space for his team.
Off of the Baron as well, Tucky at half HP, Bwipo with the engage, sets up in the choke, Dyer's the only one here for TSW, a sent away again, the Supreme Display, ain't that much as Tucky finds himself the quickness, he wants to dance, but Fly just don't want her as Eddie. He managed to kite this one back, and it's the best fight so far as Hero, meanwhile inside the Baron pit, almost kills Inspired, but coming out of the realm, there's Masu waiting as he flashes over as well. Bwipo will finish the job, it's a triple for Masu, but he's Penta a bit out of reach as Eddie tries to find him in the backline, stepping up, Masu gets a Quadra, and Dyer, the Penta, has run away. Here's Taki's going to TP down to bot. I think this is a flank waiting to happen, the last hurrah. But Team Secret Whales to avoid going down
Double
to
TP.
that 1 and 2. It's a great ulti from Hisu. It's a Claw of Destruction that sets down Masu. It's a pick. It's great, but FlyQuest, they've still got Quad alive. And his hero's going to come out of that death realm with Busio running for his life. There's a turret there now standing new heaven here for FlyQuest to sit under it in the sun and land on another kill.
Now it's time for 100 Thieves to really prove if their game against BLG was a fluke in this matchup versus HLE. Putting small wins together, HLE are ahead 3.5k at the 15th minute, but a disjointed response from 100 Thieves breaks the map open with the help of a Purple Bug and a Zeus Sion.
Hard. Oh.
Now with this engage onto a lone Zeus, you'd think 100 Thieves had found a pick. Except that Zeus is on a hyper tank and he also knows how to drive.
Kill Zeus. Maybe we can.
We might get an answer. Seismic
They've
shove.
got him decked about.
You see it. You want to see it. Dawning Shadow as well helps out. Ayla's also sent away Viper. You believe Kobe? Because with Zeus ulting in, he might be a free target for Quid. Meanwhile, the rest of the fight is going Doklet's ways. He runs into Zeka. I say that, but Viper still just not dying. He all out as Doklet goes in the bush. Held out. Zeka as well. Spaces River. And Hummer Life, it's the sketchiest fight. But even that is too much to ask for. Hummer Life Zeus is godlike. It just keeps getting better no matter how much 100 Thieves find an avenue. Zeka will also see FBI flash away. He survives for now, but that Arakan will add gold right into the ground.
Like, this champ is just not okay this tournament. Watch Zeus just zone 3 and flash under their tower and then survive. Literally solo wins that fight.
7. We're going to have to get a record on this thing because he's just under turret for now. Zeka coming to help him out. Much like he helped out Viper before, he's going to help out his top lane. And Seismic Shove avoided with good time. Zonya's unstoppable onslaught meanwhile. And these shove backs from Zeka are crystal clean. The Dawning Shadow enables the chase from Doklet, but way too deep. With a Winter's Bite over the wall, sets up for Viper to just take on the rest of the team. 100 Thieves will not feel safe under their own inhibitor turret. Hummer Life are putting on a display in Beijing.
After dismantling 100 Thieves piece by piece, HLE looks to control top jungle in anticipation for Baron, with a face check from Ayla being the first piece removed.
It's a hard game for NA fans. There were some great moments at the start, but it's like Hummer Life, these fights.
Is he going to go 9?
Getting better and
Is he
better.
going to get 9?
He's looking for a decimating smash with Unbreakable Will. That Alistar rise to Delight. What are you doing, Delight? Zeus is here to set a record even further down as Winter's Bite, again, concussive blows. Zeka's just ordering attack River. And away and away and away he goes. Seismic shove. Zayas is getting zoned out by 2 as Peanut takes down the enemy jungler. Another great ulti it would have been, but a blast cone saves the day. Meanwhile, mid is another great play for Humble Life, and Zayas is teleporting in. Kobe, a culling onto Quid. 100 Thieves try as they might. The might of Humble Life is just too much. Zayas is going to die eventually after taking 10 turret shots. But the LCK second seed step up in a big way. Zayas sets an international record on Sion, and their just desserts are moving to 2-1. Humble Life big on the board.
So following that dominant performance from Zayas, Sion ending the game with a scoreline of 8-1-16, breaking the world Sion kill count, the champ enters round 4 with an 83% win rate, being picked 12 times, the most of any champ this tournament, only losing twice. There is no champion with as good a win rate at Worlds this year bar Xin Zhao. And contrary to the Baus Sion playstyle of full damage, the world's tank Sion is currently sitting at an 8.11 KDA average, going negative only 3 times the entire tournament. With such a dominating presence, you'd think he'd be banned more, because there are no teams that are playing tank slayers like Vayne and Cog, not that they really can, but he's still running the Rift. That being said, in round 4, we're entering Fearless best of 3s, so once it's picked or banned for that series, it can't be played again. So the takeaway here is that if Los Ratones were playing in Worlds, Baus would become a world champion. I'm obviously joking because, well, you'll see in my next video. I hope you enjoyed this summary type of video and feel it caught you up to speed. I'm working really hard to get these out on time, so if you enjoyed it, a like and comment would mean the world. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!